Your leadership will eventually crumble if you're solely focused on marketing and strategy. You need to optimize all that makes you who you be in order to become a leader with integrity and longevity. In this episode, I share what it takes to be a fully optimized leader. Tune in and learn why shortcuts are the quickest way to misaligned leadership, the difference between one-dimensional leadership and optimized leadership, what it looks like to be a fully optimized leader, and the importance of being devoted to the 5 elements of your well-being. Now, listen up. The third round of Potent Leaders will begin in June 2022. This is a 4-month coaching and mentorship journey hosted live for leaders who are ready to pave the way for humanity with absolute integrity. Only 10 seats are available. Head to rubyfremon.com/potent leaders for details and secure your seat today. And as a reminder, my book, Potent Leadership, is available on Amazon and Audible. And may I add, the Audible version is really fucking potent. So make sure you grab a copy of the book today, potentleadership.com, or just head to Amazon or your Audible app to grab it. Now, whether you are a loyal listener or brand new to the podcast, please take a moment right now, hit pause and download a few episodes and drop a rating and review on iTunes. Every single rating, review, and download helps me get this podcast out to more leaders around the world. And after doing this for 5 years, I'd really love your help to spread the word. So please download a few episodes and drop a rating and review. Now it is time to learn how you can become a fully optimized leader. Beyond the narrative, underneath the veil of illusion, and deep within your center, therein lies potent truth. Welcome to Potent Truth, where today's leaders, change makers, and light carriers come together to question the narrative, arrive at potent truth, and lead with sovereignty. What is potency? It's who you are beneath the masks, facades, and protective gear. It's the medicine humanity yearns for, cries out for, prays for, and needs. Your potency is what sets you apart, magnetizes your following, and creates movements. Join me, Ruby Fremon, for weekly guidance, channeled messages, and potent conversations that will take you on a journey of self-discovery. I am here to guide you to a place of unraveling the programming that's been keeping us stuck for generations, unlocking potent truth and expressing it through sovereign leadership. It's time for change. It's time for potent truth. Hey leaders, welcome to another edition of Potent Truth. And let me tell you, this is round 2 of recording this episode because I recorded it and totally forgot to turn the mic on. So I've triple checked, the mic is on, and we are doing this. And in today's episode, I want to talk about optimized leadership. But first, some context. If you've been listening to Potent Truth for a while, if you've been following my work, if you're in my community, you know what's been going on in our world. And right now we are experiencing a crumbling of society, of what we once thought was true. Our society right now is becoming disillusioned with so many things, including our current paradigm of leadership. Now, if you've read my book, Potent Leadership, you know what I mean when I'm talking about the current or old paradigm of leadership. If you have not read the book, what are you waiting for? Go grab your copy of Potent Leadership today. Just head to potentleadership.com or order your copy on Amazon, get it on Kindle, or download it on Audible. I will say the Audible version is quite an activation and it is narrated by me. So go grab the book. Now, our society is becoming more and more disillusioned, and with more people waking up each day, with more people awakening and gaining the awareness to see past the illusions, they are demanding more truth, right? So as the veils become thinner, and we've all experienced this, as the veils become thinner and you start to see one lie and another illusion and another performance, your yearning for truth becomes stronger, right? Because you cannot unsee what you now see. So as people start to wake up, as you start to see more with regards to how our world is operating, with regards to leadership today, you're going to naturally demand more truth. You start to crave more truth because you realize you've been lied to for so long. And when we talk about the paradigm of leadership that we are now exiting, and again, I write about this in my book, but I want to give you just a visual for this episode, just for context. So the old paradigm of leadership, some people a lot of people refer to this as the patriarchy, and then they start to get shit twisted, thinking that it's the masculine energy that's got it all wrong. And that's not true. I want to make a point of saying that it's not that masculine led leadership is wrong. It's when we get into an unhealthy imbalance of any of the energies. And part of what we're seeing with leadership isn't even the masculine energy. It's just very egoic. It's very self-conscious. And again, I dive into this in the book, but here's the visual. So the old paradigm of leadership has the leader standing on stage or on a pedestal, looking down at their community, at their audience, speaking at them through a megaphone, not listening, but speaking at. The new paradigm of leadership that we are stepping into, and you would have heard more about in last week's episode with Luna Battaglia. If you haven't heard that episode, go listen to that episode. It's so good. But this new paradigm of leadership that we're stepping into is one where it has the leader in the center of the room, amongst the people, listening to the people, really hearing the people, seeing the people eye to eye, and also courageous enough to pave the way for the people. This is the new paradigm that we're stepping into. So this old paradigm of leadership is crumbling, right? It's falling apart right before our eyes, and people are demanding more truth in all aspects of our world, including leadership, right? And in this world that we live in, we rely so much on technology. I mean, so many people, their entire lives depend on technology. Their entire business relies on technology. There are even leaders whose entire business relies on social media, which, reminder, that's not your house. Someone else is in charge. So it's like having someone else in charge of the success of your business. Remember to diversify where you put your content, okay? So technology is both a gift and it's a curse. And the gift in technology, I mean, there's so many gifts with technology. It allows us to see more. It allows us to connect with people around the world. It allows us to see what's going on in other places of the world that we've never been able to see, right? It allows us to see more of the disillusionment that's happening in our world. It allows us to represent ourselves. But then the curse, the flip side of this, the curse is that it is creating more illusion, more separation, more division within humanity. And a big part of that curse is within your power. You have the power to create more illusion, more separation, more division within a few taps of your thumbs, right? You can edit yourself. You can filter yourself. You can change your IG bio to be whatever the fuck you want it to be. You can change your website copy again and again and again to manipulate who you're being, to tell stories, right? Technology makes it super easy to lie about who you are. And you may be doing this consciously or unconsciously. And it's all okay. It's all okay. We've all done it. We all do it to some extent. It's okay. And sometimes it is part of the self-preservation technique. But what's not okay is being completely unconscious to the ways that you're doing it, or to be in denial, right? So it's easy to perform, it's easy to pretend, it's easy to manipulate your audience and your community or even yourself. It's easy to fake it. And because of this, it's also become really easy to differentiate the leaders from the influencers and the performers. So just imagine scrolling through your Instagram, for example, and you see a bunch of leaders posts that you follow, and there's a few where you find yourself either feeling a little like it's off-putting or something doesn't feel energetically aligned. But then you read something from someone and you're like, oh, yes, this feels so good. This feels so true. That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying it's easy to differentiate the leaders from the influencers and performers, because again, we are all seeking more truth. And what differentiates the leaders from the influencers and performers, there's a quote from my book. So leaders influencers paint a pretty picture while leaders pave the way. And that's what this is about. Human beings, we love shortcuts. We love to get things quick. And in our current society where we have become addicted to the instant noodle effect, meaning we can get things instantaneously, we have grown to love shortcuts even more. So people love shortcuts. People love to move fast and to cut corners and to get to where they want to be really, really quickly. And by doing so, they love to bypass the real inner work. But that is not leadership. In order to truly lead in today's world, you have to focus on optimizing all that you are. So many people who choose to label themselves as leaders right now, and maybe this is you, are only focusing on certain aspects of their being instead of their entire being. So what I mean by this is some leaders are choosing to focus solely on business or on marketing or on strategy, and they leave their healing to the side. Or some leaders choose to focus strictly on their health and well-being, and they forget strategy and knowledge. Some people focus strictly on their healing and they forget to focus on their physical well-being and strengthening their vessel. This is where leaders get stuck in very one-dimensional work. But what you have to realize is that we are not one-dimensional beings. As a leader, you cannot just focus on one aspect of yourself because you're multidimensional. You have to focus on all that you be. And when you don't, this is when we create dis-ease in the body. And when I say dis-ease, I don't mean just physical disease. I mean all sorts of dis-ease, disharmony, misalignments in our bodies, which can create disharmony in our energetic and our emotional and our mental well-being and our physical well-being. So we need to focus on what I call the 5 elements of your well-being, which I cover in greater detail within my Potent Leaders program, but I am going to cover them in today's episode because I believe that this is just so important. And I am just so tired of seeing one-dimensional leaders. And I know you are too. So let me run through the 5 elements really quickly, and then I'm going to dive into them with greater detail. So the 5 elements of your well-being are body, heart, mind, energy, and spirit. So your body has everything to do with your physical vessel. This is your physical well-being. This is movement. This is nutrition. This is breath work. This is you taking ownership and responsibility for your physical vessel. Your heart is your emotional well-being. These are your feelings. These are your emotions. These are the unprocessed emotions. And then we have mind, which is your mental well-being. This is your knowledge. This is your wisdom. This is your learning. And from there, we have your energy, which is your energetic well-being. So this has to do with your energetic hygiene, your energetic alignment, your energetic boundaries, and your energetic frequency. And then we have spirit, which is about your spiritual well-being. And this has everything to do with your connection to something greater than you, however you want to describe that. All of this is connected and interconnected: your body, your heart, your mind, your energy, and spirit. And if you focus only on one or two or three or four of these elements and you leave something behind, you will create disorder, disharmony, misalignment in your leadership, and quite possibly dis-ease in your vessel. So as a leader, in order to be a fully optimized leader, you must focus on all 5 elements. So I want to talk about how these 5 elements work together, and they work together in this order. So first we have the body. So if you think about honoring your body, honoring the element of body. So that's working out, moving your body, getting some movement in, nourishing your body really well. When you do these things, you experience a somatic release, an energetic release, and endorphin rush, right? So that old saying of your issues are in your tissues is super true. I mean, I don't know if you've experienced this before, but there's been so many times where I will lay down at the end of a really hard yoga class in Savasana, and just cry, because that somatic release, that release I had in my physical body, helped me access deeper emotions. Or like on a massage table, when I get a really good massage or a really good chiropractic adjustment. So when you focus on your body, this opens you up to access deeper emotions, which then helps you drop into the element of heart. So your element of heart is all about your healing, your sense of compassion, both for self and the world, and your self-love. So when you are devoted to your healing, when you're devoted to deepening compassion and self-love, this frees you up to utilize more of your mind and access more of your knowledge. So the way that I like to describe this is, say you wake up one day and you're super in the feels. Like, it is just a very emotional day. It's hard to focus on tasks when you're super emotional. It's hard to focus on anything but what you're feeling. You're going to struggle to create content that day. You're going to struggle to write what you needed to write or complete what you need to complete, because you're just in your feels. So by focusing on the element of heart, on your healing, on your compassion, on self-love, this will start to free you up to utilize more of your mind and access more knowledge. So from there, we go into the element of mind, which is all about expanding awareness, expanding your understanding, and expanding knowledge and wisdom, right? So this is about the learning. This is about the consumption of education, of application of what you're learning, to take that knowledge and turn it into wisdom. This is about deepening your understanding for yourself, for the world, for your work. And when you do this, you start to shift your energetic frequency, right? So this wisdom that you've now created within yourself shifts your energetic frequency, which creates the magnetism that we all want. We want to feel magnetic. We want to draw people in. This is what's going to do it. So that's when we start to focus on the element of energy. And energy is all about focusing on alignment to create clarity and momentum. So this is about having that awareness to see and understand and acknowledge what is misaligned versus what is aligned for you, and to follow those alignments, to follow what feels most aligned for yourself and your journey. And as you do that, you create clarity and you create momentum. And when this happens, that's when you get to connect with the element of spirit. And this is about developing a greater sense of compassion outside of yourself for the world. This is about being open to receiving the guidance and support that is always present all around you, the divine guidance and support that is forever present in your life. Once you reach this place, you become a fully optimized human being. You cannot just focus on one or four of these elements if you choose to cut corners and focus only on a few or one of these elements, you will not have a solid foundation for your leadership, and your leadership will crumble. There will be no longevity. And in fact, this is something that I see so often with leaders who come to work with me is they've created what they thought they wanted to create. They've got some level of success, and on the outside things may look good, but on the inside they feel completely misaligned or not fulfilled, or something just doesn't feel right. They don't know what it is. And it's because they've built this movement, their leadership, on top of a foundation that isn't solid, because they're solely focused on mind or heart or just energy or just body. You have to focus on all of it. You have to be devoted to all 5 elements in order to be a fully optimized being, and have that solid foundation for you to build your movement upon. When you focus on all 5 elements of your well-being, you shift from a one-dimensional being to a multi-dimensional, fully optimized leader. This is also what's required for you to become a fully embodied leader, to become fully embodied in your work, in your service, in your leadership, and in what you stand for. So this work is not work that you get to bypass, not as a leader. This is work that you get to do. And if you're seeking to dive deeper into your own optimization, I invite you to join me in the next round of Potent Leaders. This is a 4-month coaching and mentorship journey for leaders who are ready to pave the way for humanity with absolute integrity. Within our 4-month journey together, you will deepen your presence. You'll make the necessary shifts in your business and leadership to lead with alignment, and you will become a fully embodied leader. Only 10 seats are available, and our weekly activation sessions are hosted live. This is not an online course or an online program. This is a live program. We will be together for 4 months. Plus, not only will you have my coaching, mentorship, and presence, but you will be amongst other like-minded leaders who are there to support you. So head to www.rubyfremon.com/potent leaders for more information and secure your seat today. The next round starts in June. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Potent Truth, where I am taking you on a journey to challenge illusion and lead with sovereignty. Remember, only 10 seats are available for the next round of Potent Leaders. So head to rubyfremon.com/potent leaders and grab all the details. If it sounds like something that feels super aligned, secure your seat today. And of course, if you have yet to grab a copy of my book, go to potentleadership.com and grab your copy today. You can also grab it on Amazon or Audible. And if you already have a copy, thank you for your support. Please leave a rating and review on Amazon or on Audible. And if you have, send me a screenshot on Instagram at I am Ruby, and I'll give you a little gift. So do that. And while you're at it, download a few episodes of Potent Truth and drop a rating and review on iTunes, because all the ratings and all the reviews help get this podcast out to more leaders around the world. Don't forget to connect with me on social at I am Ruby. And you can also connect with me via text message. Just text #Potent Truth to 1-781-336-0160 to start receiving weekly potent reminders sent straight to your phone. Finally, make sure you check back on Monday for a brand new episode of Potent Truth. Aho, leaders.